I grew up in Toronto, played in a lot of bands, worked at Second City and Much Music, and wrote a lot of songs. But all the while I was California dreaming. Maybe it was the Henry Miller Big Sur that I pictured, or maybe Raymond Chandler's Los Angeles, or the songscapes of Jackson Browne and Joni Mitchell, or maybe the iconic films of California like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. At any rate, when I moved there, my notebook was on fire, and things that found their way into those notes also found their way into my book, Dead Brilliant. Let's take a tour of some of the locations from the book. Dead Brilliant is set in the teeming metropolis of Los Angeles, California. But when Rock Molotov wants to escape the city and the 10 million other souls that inhabit it, where does he come? But the beautiful El Matador Beach. You take the Pacific Coast Highway just north of Malibu, tiny little parking lot, long set of stairs. Look where you end up, with these beautiful rock faces, the ocean, the beach, and the scene to the most romantic moment in Dead Brilliant. When Rock's manager, Uncle Strange, falls for the charming but talentless Marie Ladurie, he falls hard. And Marie lets him know that the way to her heart, and other destinations, is if Uncle supports her absurd pop star dreams. Well, Uncle cheerfully complies, gets her a deal with Rock's label, and they're all set to shoot Marie's first video for her hit song, Ooh La La. Conveniently, her father, a famous French film director, is here shooting his Hollywood debut, the sequel to Madame Bovary. Now, if you're going to shoot the LA Philharmonic in your video, where better than the beautiful and iconic Hollywood Bowl? The Self-Realization Fellowship Lake Shrine, known in the book as Heavenly Blessings, is a place of true retreat from the madness of LA, and Rock does come here for a moment of reflection. He also, once he realizes that he is in love with his southern sweetheart Bobby Burnett, comes here for inspiration, and this is where he gets the idea for what soon becomes his signature song, Swan Dive. It's also the source of a very un-Zen-like notion, as he and his manager, Uncle Strange, conspire to come up with the idea that launches the book, Dead Brilliant. West Hollywood's Sunset Marquis Hotel, known in the book Dead Brilliant as the Sunset Lagoon. It's one of the quintessential rock and roll hotels in LA, and is home to Rock Molotov and his manager, Uncle Strange. It's also where Uncle, poolside, encounters the fabulous Marie Ladurie, who becomes the love of his life. A less fortunate encounter takes place in the parking garage, where Rock Molotov runs into Far Cry, Alabama's own Delray Jackson, the knife-wielding dumpster diver. When I was a kid, my parents listened to the music of 20th century Russian composer Rachmaninoff. And I thought his name was Rachmaninoff. Well, a few years ago I found that wasn't the case, but it did provide inspiration for naming the hero of my book Dead Brilliant, Rock Molotov. You know, when Rock and his band, The Cocktails, roll into town from the Gopher State, Minnesota, their first stop is the Sunset Strip. The Roxy, the Rainbow, the Whiskey A Go-Go, breeding ground for bands all the way from the Doors to Guns N' Roses. And when the daughter that Rock has never met, Emma, comes to town looking for her father, where does she begin? At the club that Johnny Depp started in the early 1990s, the Viper Room.
What are you guys reading?
Dead Brilliant.
What do you think so far?
It's awesome. Awesome. Can't stop. Page turner for sure.